Good evening. I'd like to have a call for flotilla commanders. Please sit at the front tables, please. Flotilla commanders and board members. Bill? Mr. Hartley?
You want me to yell? I can get it. Bill!
Mr. Hartley? Want to sit up front because you're a member of the board, you're a voting member?
I knew it was good. Okay, now that I've seen my first.
No. That's fine, sit over there, that's great.
Thank you.
And we're waiting for our secretary. Is Gail Edelman here? No, Gail's not here yet. I know she's coming, so let me give her a call.
She's caught in traffic, I guess.
Probably.
We have any in Spanish?
I feel like Chevy Chase on Saturday Night.
What's that?
Clear channel, yeah. Do you have them in Spanish?
I'll try Jerry.
Whatever they.
Who brought those in?
Andrew. Andrew, you have more? Dave?
DivThree, yeah.
Does anyone know for the reasons?
Andrew was going to call so you can get a hold of somebody. Andrew, do you have any luck with the AC? The answer is no.
The answer is no, but I can put some fans.
Okay. Second, you take minutes. I'll go real slow.
What are you trying to say?
But what if she writes real fast?
Yeah.
Then we made up time. Okay. Good evening. I want to call the Division 07003 board meeting of the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary to order. We'll do a roll call first. Sherman is present. Robotsky is excused. He's at Hogs Lambs. Joe Oliva. Bill Bartley.
Here.
Colin Taylor.
Here.
Okay, that's Mr. Thorne, representing 3-2. Richard Lees.
Here.
Mario Stagliano.
Here.
Carlos Arenas.
Present.
Jeff Barnes.
Present.
Okay, we do have a quorum present. Very good. Let's rise and for our pledge of allegiance and ask Commodore Hudson to please lead us in the pledge.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence, remembering all those who have paid the ultimate price for our country, and still remembering the 17 who perished on February 14th. Thank you very much. Okay, an introduction of guests. Basically, we have two very distinguished guests tonight. To my right is our Commodore for District 7, Judith Hudson. Judith has a 45-minute speech that she I had to cut down from an hour or so. She's still doing okay. And also to my right, got Bill Bartley, our east. Are there any other guests? Any other guests for to be announced in the room tonight?
Okay. Flotilla 36 are here. I don't think they consider themselves guests. How about if we announce ourselves here? Bob, starting with you.
Robert Tingling. Welcome.
Out there.
Ted Luncheon.
Ron Dillon.
Jim Rolfich. Rich Flowers.
Andrea Rutherford.
Brad Dillon.
And Novak.
Mario Marino.
I thought I'd stack the audience with our people.
How about from the great Flotilla 38?
I saw something.
Oh, very good. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you, Mario, and Flotilla 36 for your hospitality and sponsoring and hosting tonight's meeting. Okay, next we'll have the approval of minutes. And that's the staff officer, secretary of records report. Gail, as I understand, on her way. She has emailed the auxiliary record of unit meeting. I'll entertain a motion from the board members to accept the minutes as read. As filed. Motion made by Carlos Arenas, seconded by Maris Tagliano. We can just do a hand vote. All in favor? Being unanimous, it's fine. Finance report. Our beginning cash balance on this month was $2,394.36. Our income from Flotilla 32 dues was $3,000.78. We had no expenses because of our very thrifty, frugal, and conservative financial efforts. Our ending cash balance this month is $5,472.36. Entertain a motion to accept the financial report and file for audit. Made by Carlos Arenas, seconded.
Second.
Seconded by Jeff Barnes, Flotilla 38. All voting members of the board, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Good. Thank you.
We do need to ask for
Sorry?
those. We do need to ask for those opposed.
Okay. Anyone opposed? Vote was unanimous. We have, I just got a text from Tony Anastasio, says he's online from snowy Washington. Too bad, Tony, what can I tell you? It's really sunny, 80 degrees, but we miss you. Okay, on the Station Flotilla report, Lieutenant Wallin texted me today at 5:20 saying he could not be here. He said, please pass, they're very grateful for all the division's hard work in the past couple of weeks, helping us through inspections, reserve training. It's been a huge lift off of his shoulders knowing that he can count on all of us. So, thank you very much, Lieutenant Wallin. Appreciate that. Next I have is the ASC report, Andrew Rutherford. But before we get to that, I'd like to know if Commodore Hudson, you have a report or comment you'd like to share with the division?
I think the agenda is pretty full tonight, so I didn't prepare any comments. I will say that what district is focusing on is their #1 goal of recruit, mentor, and train, which some of you have heard me say is one goal because it's a continuous process. It's not 3 different things, so we all need to be thinking of it as a continuous process. And I'm sure that all of the flotillas have this as their #1 goal too. Right. Okay, we're not going to vote on it. We're just going to assume that it's unanimous. Also, we're trying to emphasize National Safe Voting Week. As you know, this is always one of our major events nationally for the year, and this district typically does a very good job. We try to improve every year with innovative ideas, with more events, reaching more of the voting public. My mantra that I've had since I was a division commander has been trying to get every single member to contribute 2 hours, a minimum of 2 hours during National Safe Voting Week. They choose whatever they want to do, but if we could get a majority of our members out there to contribute 2 hours sometime during that week, you would be amazed at what that would create. I heard at the first division meeting that I attended that there isn't fun in the auxiliary anymore. Okay, we will vote on that. I hope there is. You know, we create our own fun. Hopefully we're relaxed with each other enough that we can have positive joking, a little humor with what we do, and that we can enjoy the camaraderie as well as the mission. So I would ask that you try to make sure that all members are doing what they really enjoy. One of the reasons they joined the auxiliary, that you've got them certified and active in that mission area, and that they are having fun. Other than that, I'll take any questions. Oh, see, they didn't want me to speak for 45 minutes.
They're just joking.
Thank you.
They're just joking. There you go. Okay. Thank you, Andrea.
Can I speak from back here?
Well, you want to be on TV, right?
Fine. Gotta get on TV, yeah.
You got to be on the web. We're streaming.
We won't be able to hear you.
Come on, Tony, see you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Is that all right?
No, right here. Right here. Oh, Carlson.
Good evening. I've had this position for 1 whole month now, and it's been really a pleasure to meet some of the people that I've been meeting. I've been to 3 of the 4 Coast Guard stations in sector Miami. I haven't gotten to Lake Worth Inlet yet, but that's on my to-do list. And one of the things that I have heard is how good a relationship the commanding officers, either the CO, the XO, or the OXLO from those stations have with the auxiliary. They're very appreciative of the work that's being done at their stations, whether it's food service, watch standing, any of the other jobs that are going on at the station. And I, along with the AUCs, are encouraging the COs and XOs to think of other ways that we can get involved at the stations. And that would be fun. I mean, for a lot of people, that is a fun task to get on the station and meet some of the people there. The big news right now is the Surface Operations Manual, if any of you are familiar with that. It is not ready yet, the new one. It won't be ready until the end of the month. So in the meantime, we operate under the old Surface Operations Manual. It's not like we don't have one. We have the old one that's still in place. When the new one comes out, it will be released through OXLO, Lieutenant Alexander, down through the operations people. So you'll see it when it's ready.
Would that be the one signed by Captain Gould, or the first one signed by Captain Dean?
It will be signed by Captain Dean.
No, the previous one that we're operating under.
There are 2 of them.
Yes.
I will get clarification.
Captain Dean released the first one, and then we put the change request in. So do we convert back to that one, or do we convert back to the one that was in place before the first one?
I'll have to ask. I'll get back to you. I don't know. Lieutenant Alexander, those of you who know him, is being transferred, and I don't think I should even say where quite yet, but he's very happy about it. His replacement, I understand, is someone already working at Sector Miami. So the ramp up for that person will be a little quicker than someone coming in from some other sector. When that happens, I'll let you all know, and I'm sure we'll be able to escort him around to division meetings and flotilla meetings so you get to know him too. One of the big focuses right now is Operation Clear Channel. You have the brochures, please send them out with PVs and VEs. Division 3, I'm proud to say, is the only division in Sector Miami that is currently doing Operation Clear Channel patrols. Division 6 needs to know more about it, I guess. And I may call on someone, maybe Bob or someone who's familiar with setting up a Clear Channel patrol to give their operations a call. Let them know how to get it going. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I would just like to note that Andrea is one of the best appointments that I ever made. I mean, she is amazing. In 1 month, she has accomplished more than lots of officers do in 2 years. I have said that to several people. So thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Vic.
I do have a question regarding the ops manual. Since we're doing that, the training on the 31st for the first training, is that going to be with that manual, or we're going to hope that's going to be with that manual?
What is your question again?
We have
Are you going to field it, or?
Well, we have a Sector Miami ops manual training on schedule 31st along with the QE, and it's more towards the Station Lauderdale operations as well. So,
well, if the new manual isn't ready, you're going to have to work off the old one.
that's right. And any changes, we're going to have any changes we can address in April at the April meeting, at the April division meeting. But this is for the people to be qualified for the QE. You have to attend a Sector Miami Ops policy. That's the reason, a seminar. That's why.
You're talking about the workshop?
Yes, the workshop.
Okay.
That's exactly why it's being held 31st.
Oh, yes, that workshop is still that workshop.
Right. We can still hold it.
And if you take it before the new ops manual comes out, it's still valid for your currency.
That's what it's for. It's for all new people, all new qualification, crew, coxswain, and all people who have to recert in 2018. Thank you. Good question, John. Mr. Bartlett.
I have a couple things, a couple words, but first of all, the only thing I want to mention is Everbridge. Everbridge is coming back. It's going to be managed by National. We're going to have somebody locally who's going to do the administration of the database. From my understanding, it'll be from division commander above that will have access to the database to program it, or for messages, or for alerts, or to enter meetings, or to do anything with it. That's all coming. I got another email today about it. They're going to roll out training with it, because we want to have a better hurricane season this year with Everbridge than we did last year. Okay. If you don't mind, I have a couple of awards.
Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. First one I know is for George Cozell, who's not here, and it's a Lighthouse Award. He did over 1,000 program visits last year. So every year they give these awards out. Carlos, I would like you to do this and give it to him and present it in front of your flotilla with him.
With pleasure.
And a point of information, George has been appointed as the new staff officer for program visitors as well.
Oh, good. Okay, good reason why. There's
That's
the
right,
reason
good reason why. And he's done more this year.
I have one more award. To read this one, I would like everybody to stand, please. And also, Mr. Barnes, I need a guarantee from you that when we get done presenting this here, that you'll present it at your next flotilla meeting.
My word.
Okay. From the Commandant to Mr. Robert M. Sherman, U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary. Auxiliary Commandant's Letter of Commendation. I note with pride and am pleased to commend you for your performance of duty as a Coast Guard Auxiliary 7, District 7, Division 3, Flotilla 36, Flotilla Commander from January of 16 to December of 17. Displaying superior organizational skills coupled with exceptional leadership you encourage 50 Flotilla 3-8 members to volunteer more than 34,600 mission hours. That's a lot of hours, okay? Their outstanding efforts included 31,000 hours in support of RBS, more than 400 hours for marine safety, 500 hours conducting more than 190 vessel exams, and at least 1,200 hours in administrative and operational support to the U.S. Coast Guard. Inspired by your personal dedication and commitment, Flotilla 3-8 members worked collaboratively and met the demanding requirements to earn the National Commodore's 3-Star Award for Diversity. The distinctive recognition is awarded to flotillas and divisions who compete for one or more action items, which include creating a positive work environment, promoting individual success, and reaching out to underrepresented population groups within the community. Serving concurrently as the Division Staff Officer for Human Resources, you diligently worked with all the Division 3 Flotilla leadership and staff officers to encourage diversity, improvements, membership, recruitment, retention, and inclusive initiatives. Through your leadership and dedication, your team demonstrated the ability to manage and add value to varied diversity initiatives. You are commended for your outstanding performance of duty by notorious service. You have upheld the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard and the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary. You are hereby authorized to wear the Auxiliary Commandant's Letter of Commendation ribbon, Gold Star in lieu of the second. And this is from the Commandant, Dean. Thank you, sir, very much. Okay, great job.
I can only accept this honor on behalf of the men and women of Flotilla 3-8. They're the ones who did all the work from public education. We got Glenn sitting right there, program visits, Jeff with what he did with as my vice flotilla commander and also staff officer. All the people there, the people who've been there so long, and the newer folks. David's just done a terrific job now as the staff officer, division staff officer for public affairs, and the Flotilla 3-8 vice commander. So I know Flotilla 3-8 is in very good hands. We'll uphold the tradition of excellence that Joe handed to me and I handed over to Jeff. And if it wasn't for those 73 men and women working so hard, this would not be possible. So on behalf of them, I accept it. Thank you very much.
However, it is always easier to accomplish all these missions with a good leader. Agreed? Yes.
You joking?
I wasn't joking. But we're still having fun.
There you go. All right, very good. Thank you very much. Is there any more to report?
No, that's all the report. Thank you, sir.
Okay, next is items for board information. We did the change of watch. We had a board vote on that, a mail vote, and it did pass. To have the Division 3 change of watch, one change of watch, one holiday party for everybody, for all the flotillas, and that will be held on Sunday, December 2nd at the Coral Springs Heron Bay Marriott. All the prices are based on $65, and based on $65, if we charge 65 people, we charge $50 per person. We're going to have a reserve of only $72.80. Hopefully if we can double that attendance, we'll revisit the per person price and see if we can get that lowered from the Coral Springs banquet management people. But it's the same, it's a plated dinner, choice of entrees, will be chicken, mahi-mahi, sirloin steak, 1 hour cocktail hour with a cash bar. And the parking, again, is free. And that's with all the extra tables and missing man tables and all the extra amenities that we would need. What I am going to ask each flotilla commander, please, to come back next meeting with at least 2 people who will serve on the committee for decorations so we can decorate it very nicely for the holidays. And also, I will need people to volunteer for the AV purpose, so we can have a slideshow going the whole gamut for the evening. Again, with this type of combined Change Your Watch holiday party, the only people that will be sworn in will be the division officers, the division elected officers, the division staff officers, flotilla commanders, and vice commanders. All the flotilla staff officers will be sworn in at the flotilla meetings in January. I want to thank everybody for their vote on it, and we look forward to having a terrific Change Your Watch. Okay, Safe Boating Week, as the Commodore talked about. I've been in conversation with Lieutenant Wallen, and we're on board to do combined vessel exams, which I'll get with George about, and program visits all over the county, and also we'll be having active duty and auxiliary personnel in boats together, encouraging people to get their VSC done that day. So it promises to be a new type of National Safe Boating Week. And Glenn, I'm sure we'll be doing the Ready, Set, Wear It again this year at John U. Lloyd Park. Sorry?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Right.
The date has been moving around, but I think they brought it back to where it belongs.
Okay, which is?
Saturday, first day of National Safe Boating Week,
Right.
Saturday.
May 19th.
Which is Saturday, May 19 May. Okay. Of course, Barbara Dombrowski just texted me, don't forget the Toys for Tots to Change Your Watch. So, the division website update, Carlos?
He's up.
It's up and running. Nobody knows what type of job, the only job that's been for Carlos to do, and just about single-handedly it did. It's kept me involved and Brett informed as well, and Carlos has done a terrific job with it. You want to give anybody any?
Well, I got
Any
scolded
insight?
in national, but well, I took it.
I'm sorry?
I got scolded in national, but I took it on the chin, and we have the website.
That's okay. Well, the attaboys are working. But thank you.
The thing is that the national doesn't like when you do websites outside of the system. So, and I understand that, but that limits us seriously.
Right.
And you know better than probably nobody else. And on a side note, I put together a page for ACN, and that will come in member training, but we're going forward with advanced coastal navigation, and John Narducci and
I got that in member training, yeah.
Yes. So I put together a page with all the resources.
Good.
Now I'm figuring out where can the instruments for navigation be bought, and we also secured.
We can talk more about that on
Okay.
reports.
Okay.
But thank you very much for the, Carlos did a terrific job getting that website updated.
Oh, thank you.
And also, Lizette's doing double duty tonight. She's taking minutes, but I want to, Lizette just put together the first edition of the new Division Voice. It went out. And I want to give an update on that, please, Lizette?
Yes, that was an introductory kind of newsletter, letting everybody know, but a full-fledged newsletter will be out at the end of April, and I encourage all of you to please send me articles or photographs from your flotillas so that I can include it in the new newsletter. It will be out end of April, by May 1st. It'll be a nice big edition, so I would like a letter from all of you. Awesome.
Great job, Lizette. Stand up. Stand up. Hey. Especially of all the guff that Brett gave you. You did good.
Yeah.
You did great. You did great on that. The ops seminar update, we already covered. That's how good we are. Okay. And some items were brought to my attention, and I asked Mr. Etheridge to give a very brief presentation on the possibility of establishing a division color guard. Again, this is just for board information. There's no vote to be taken tonight, but Mr. Etheridge will be giving a short presentation, and after that, please feel free to ask Bob any questions. Bob?
Sure.
Podium is yours.
Oh, great, thank you. Right here is good. All right. I'm Rob Etheridge, Flotilla Staff Officer for VE for Flotilla 3-8. About 6 months ago, or yeah, maybe a little bit longer, I approached the folks at 3A about a possibility of starting a flotilla color guard And since then, it's kind of come to me that I might want to open up to division-wide. I think just having it in one flotilla, even though I had a lot of people approach me immediately after opening my mouth about it, I had about 4 or 5 people approach me at the end of the meeting with a lot of interest about it. So I figured if I opened up to the division, we'd probably have a little bit more interest as well. So some of the things that, the purpose of having a color guard for division would be huge for public affairs, for our parades or change of watch, etc. I think it'd be a great program to launch. There are several auxiliary color guards throughout the country who have done it successfully. One of them being, I believe, up in Connecticut, Ronan Trachtenberg, her division has launched a color guard, and they are very active. They've done a lot of great things up there, marching in the parade in Boston for St. Patrick's Day, etc. So with that in mind, I kind of got the groundwork going to see what kind of information, what kind of things we could do here. I reached out to, after a lot of phone calls, reached out to Line 1 Ashley Garrett, who oversees the color guard for Sector Miami. And I talked to her, I said, hey, listen, I'm trying to do an auxiliary color guard, and what do you think about that? She was ecstatic. She thought that was a great idea. She gets a lot of requests. Those guys, they're constantly traveling, they're constantly moving around, doing events. A lot of them are auxiliary-based events. So she said if we could get the trained color guard to kind of take some of that burden off the active duty side, it would be very much appreciated. I asked her if there was any opportunity for us to do some training with them. Once again, she jumped on it and said she would love to. Not only would she like to do it with us to be able to train us, but also she would be willing to drive to Station Fort Lauderdale for Division 3, work with the color guard to get it off the ground, and she said, give me a call whenever you guys are ready to go. So it's a great opportunity. So, like I said, this is just something to kind of advise the division of. This is something we're going into to just let you guys know this is something that we're trying to get off the ground. The color guard is something that has high visibility. If anybody's ever served in a color guard before, it's a public thing. People are looking at you, not only the public, but our counterparts on the active duty side. So I'm looking for people who are not just qualified. Anyone can learn. We can train you. I need highly motivated people who are squared away, have a history of high, self-appearance, good uniform standards, etc. The color guard is open to everyone, but color guard itself is not for everyone. That's kind of the deal. So I want to make sure if you're interested in doing this, this is something that's going to be, it's going to be practice. It's going to be a commitment. There's going to be a small financial burden, not burden, but financial part of it as well on the individual auxiliaries to participate in this program, and it will be done correctly. It's not going to be something where it's going to be let's practice at Walmart in the parking lot 5 minutes before the parade. It's going to be something that's done correctly. So if you're interested in this, I said for the division, if you guys want to sponsor a division color guard, it's up for discussion. I'm just kind of bringing the information to you guys, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah, any questions?
Yeah, any questions, ma'am?
I don't have a question, but we have a color guard in our northern AOR. I believe it's Division 14. And one of the events that they did last year was at the Daytona 500, and it went national. Obviously, that race is known nationally. So, it is amazing what the color guards are used for, and it can end up being a lot of fun too. There's a lot of drilling. Everything has to be precise, the uniform, every step, what you do, but it is really a source of pride. And at the district level, we're always looking for color guards. When the active duty retires, lots of time the active duty color guard are dispersed and they can't get together. Plus it may be a financial situation as well as a scheduling situation where they can't fulfill the request. So for us to have one would really be a feather in your cap. I highly endorse it and encourage it.
Thank you.
Hold on, any questions from the board? Okay, any direction we want to get from the board, whether to proceed with this or not? Some discussion?
See me, Bob.
All right, sir.
Sorry?
I was the Honor Guard Commander, Training Center in Petaluma.
So what is the consensus of the board to proceed with this?
Absolutely.
So I want a motion here that the board authorize Mr. Etheridge to proceed with this concept and come back at the next meeting with
Motion to proceed.
with some with definitive scope of what the color guard will be doing.
Sure.
Okay, and any costs that'll be involved, and whether who's going to bear those costs for uniforms, etc.
Correct.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Very good. So I entertain a motion to that effect.
Motion
Made
to
by
proceed.
Carlos,
Second.
seconded by Mario. Any discussion on the motion? Board members? Hearing none. We'll take a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Go ahead. Good luck with that, Bob.
Thanks
Thank
very
you very much.
Thanks, Bob.
Good job.
Thank you.
Love unanimous votes.
Yeah, they're easy. Speaking of which, let's talk about the Spring Fellowship. Now, we have 3 items for board approval. The first item is the Spring Fellowship. Mario, can you give us an update when we're going to have our Spring Fellowship, where, when, how much, and whether it's
Yes.
going to happen?
Okay. Let's see, if you remember at the last meeting, we were going to go back and negotiate with the folks over at the Jungle Cruise. The original prices they were quoting us for 50 people and above were $48.95, and they had been advertising on
Groupon.
websites.
Groupon.
Groupon, thank you, for 38. Well, we went back and forth a few times with them. They came back with a price of 37 per person.
Oh,
But wait, there's a catch here. And there's $3 gratuity on top of that. So we're back to 40, which is cheaper than we were. But I pushed back on that gratuity because they never mentioned the gratuity. But apparently it was a fine print on the $48.95 would add another $3. Apparently not.
question. On the Groupon, was gratuity included or not?
Not.
Okay, now typically, is it the typical gratuity that people give are what, about $2 or $3 a person in the tip jar, whatever it is, going back?
Well, 15%.
15%.
Right on it. Yeah, you would. Or
So more than that.
At least $4 or $5.
So I'm trying to ask, is this a savings then if we did doing this? This is a significant savings?
Yeah, I think so. And they won't honor the coupon for a non-group like us anyway.
So it's $40 inclusive of tip, everything?
Yeah, and the only other expense there'd be is for the drivers. There's a $7 parking fee, which is not part of this organization, but part of the people at Bonamar where you park. But that is driven by the number of people. It's each vehicle, not the number of people.
Well, thank you very much, Mark, for doing a really good job on this and excellent negotiating. It's
Thank you.
terrific. Very good job. Good work.
Question is,
So,
here and then just go in one car.
Yeah, that's right. So what do we need some guidance.
Well,
on
got some
what do we do?
questions from the board?
So can we use the McVeigh parking to an extent? I know it's not going to be big enough for the whole.
Well, George Thorne's going, yeah.
Sure. I don't see why not.
You're not gonna charge us for that,
You want
George.
$7?
So that would save, you know.
Five.
Yeah. So that would save money right there on parking.
And
Plus gratuity.
And people carpooling, okay.
Yeah.
I can see everybody's enthusiastic. There was one other thing that we, expense-wise, that we probably need to consider.
Okay.
If we use Everbright, is the software package? What is it? Eventbrite. If we pick up credit cards through there, which is probably the most practical way to do this, they're going to charge us a fee. I think it's $1 or something.
But you can pass that fee. There are actually 2 fees. One for using the system for a paid event, and second, the clearance of the credit card. You can pass that fee to the member.
Well, that's what I wanted to highlight to the board. So when we actually come down to what we ask the members, it should be probably over $40 to cover these fees, assuming we're going to use this software program, which makes a lot of sense to use it that way.
But they have
It's
the
credit cards and all
option
that.
to pay by check. You can actually do that. You can, in the submission, you can stipulate that you are going to be paying by check and yet commit to the event. And then
I'd be wary about that, given, we have 45, 50 people, then you've got to get into the collection of checks business. This is what the online mechanism provides you a spot for putting in a credit card, and it's over and done with. So
I'm just stating
I appreciate that.
the technical side.
So, the final cost for people is going to be slightly higher than $40 per. Still pretty reasonable. Remember, this is a
almost
full.
$50. It's some people it's almost $50.
For people, yeah, who are driving by
50,
themselves.
maybe $43 or $40, because, let's say if I went with my wife, I'm just paying for her ticket, and I'm paying for parking,
Right.
so it's almost $100, a little bit shy of $100.
So what you're getting for that is
I know.
a 4-hour cruise.
I've been
right?
there.
Right, and a all-you-can-eat dinner, on top of which there's a show during the dinner, and then there's a show after dinner. So it seems to me like it's generally good value.
With a Groupon, does that include parking?
No.
Okay, no. You still have to pay the same parking fee.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the only difference is that the tip's included and there's a $2 fee, which we go on Groupon. So I think that's a terrific job.
Right.
That's good. So how much will the final price be per person? 37 plus 3 is 40 plus 2, 42?
Yeah, about 42. I
Carlos
think
is
it's
figuring-
Carlos is, what's the Eventbrite is?
Eventbrite
I don't
ends
remember.
being like 8%.
Yeah,
So it's about $43 a person.
yeah, somewhere right around there.
So it's about $86, including tip.
86.
Well, 43 and 4 for two people. A couple, it's $86,
Yeah.
including tip.
Including tip
And hopefully people can
parking.
carpool for parking. And also the McVeigh House will be giving free parking while it lasts, right?
I heard $5, they're not going with free.
So there's free parking.
Vans.
Yeah, people, I would highly encourage people to carpool either by van or, by station wagon, minivan, whatever it is. You know, does anybody here work for the sheriff's office? You want those paddy wagons? Okay, thank you very much. Any more questions from the board for Mario?
And there'll probably be some guidance as to what to do next with this.
Well, we're gonna take a vote on it.
Okay.
Basically, I
I
guess,
think you said you had 3 items. That's
sorry?
only one, spring fellowship is only one.
I
You said
had,
you had 3 items.
No,
no,
Bob said
I have
yeah.
3 items.
Oh, you have 3 items, okay,
Spring
sorry.
Fellowship is 1.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay. Somebody has to keep me straight. Okay. Basically, based on, all of this for board discussion, basically, based on Mario's presentation, it is be for Saturday, 28 April, for the Jungle Queen. I want to thank Mario for his due diligence, and I would look for a motion to support the charge of $43 per person, and for a division fellowship at the end of April. And again, this idea was born at the flotilla meeting at the Flotilla 3-4 in January. So it's a great idea from, I forget who, which I don't know if you remember who mentioned it?
I'm guessing it was Bruce.
Oh, okay, well, was it Bruce?
It was me. because
Okay,
I
well,
was
thank
on
you
the
very much
fellowship
for your
officer.
idea for a fellowship. So now we're up for, I'd like to a motion to accept it at the $43 a person. If anybody wants to do it?
I'll make a motion for our
Spring fellowship?
spring fellowship on 28th April at $43 per person, not including parking, and for a vote.
Okay, for the Jungle Creek Cruise, seconded by Carlos Arenas. Any discussion amongst the board members?
One thing,
Yes.
that is the same day that the Flotilla 3-4 does have a booth at the Pompano Beach Seafood Festival. So it may be a challenge for some of our members that do work the booth at the Seafood Festival to attend.
What time's the seafood festival over?
6 o'clock?
About 11 o'clock at night.
11 o'clock? Oh. That
It
would be a
runs from
challenge.
10 a.m. to, we usually keep the booth open until about 8:30 because we don't have lighting at the booth. So it's about 8:30, so that if they are working the booth, they would be unable to attend. And I'm bringing that up because the person who brought up is the person who usually works the booth also, known as Bruce.
But we didn't pick out a date at that point.
Yeah, that was picked out the 28th. That was the only date that was available, right, Mario?
28th seemed to be a date that was agreed upon internally.
Right.
It would be a good date, yeah.
You know, the flotilla brought this up at the January meeting, yeah. This is the third time we're talking about it. I understand. Okay, any other comments from the board? Okay, any comments from any, hearing none, I'll close the board discussion. Any comments from the members? Okay, hearing none. Call for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. carries.
3-4 is abstaining at this point in time.
Okay.
Our reason for abstention is because of the fact that we have the seafood festival, and I'd have to check with Michael O'Toole to see who would be in attendance, or be available to be in attendance.
Well, I totally understand. Totally understand. Hopefully we can work something out. Is there a possibility of maybe having your Circle K kids man it that evening? Because you're how about that? Just for like 3 hours from 5 to 8?
There's something else that's getting in the way of getting my kids over there, because that same evening is the Pompano Beach, Deerfield Beach Relay for Life. And all my kids are going to be working Relay for Life.
Have them work the seafood, feed them, come on.
For the seafood festival.
Well, maybe you get just 2 kids, all you would need, man, the booth.
But they have to be members of the auxiliary.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No,
I can work on it, but like I said, I'd have to see.
Or
I'm not even in town that week, and I have to be in Sanford, which throws another wrench into the whole
okay.
thing.
But what I can do too is we can put out a call for auxiliaries who don't plan on going.
Well, that's why I said that's why I'm abstaining at this point in time, because I don't want to say I can support it if I don't know I can cover the booth at the seafood festivals. First, I need to reach out for people that may not be wanting to go to, and then push it to people that are willing to go.
I was thinking maybe I can call a division commander in Palm Beach, Division 5, and see if he would maybe have a couple of auxiliaries that would like to. I'll do that. I will call Mr. Bowerman, write him an email, and ask him if he had a couple of auxiliaries so we could cover the booth for you.
Well, let me see if there are people that would not be, that I know would not normally attend. Okay.
All right, we'll definitely see if we can get that booth covered for you. Absolutely. Okay, thank you. So that motion carries. Very good. I'm going to take number 3 out of order. I'm going to take that next because we're going to have some discussion on the dues. So basically, the board approval is the board approved the meeting schedule all the way through June, July, and August. There will be no meetings. September meeting, Richard has once again graciously agreed to host and sponsor the September meeting. Thursday, September 20th, because of the Jewish holiday on Tuesday night. Saturday at the station, we'll have division elections. On Saturday, 27 October, forego the November meeting and have a quick business meeting at the December 2nd change of watch.
Oh,
Sorry?
excuse me, go there again. The 20th of
September
is
Thursday.
3-4. At 3-4.
Yes, at 3-4, at Pompano
Okay.
Beach.
What was the next thing?
At Station Fort Lauderdale, October 27. Last Saturday, October, we'll have division elections. Forgo November and have the next division meeting at the division change of watch on December 2nd in Coral Springs.
Can I
Discussion?
Yes. Regarding a board meeting at the change of watch, what's your idea of short on that?
5 minutes.
Okay, because I can tell you that no spouse is going to want to sit through a board meeting.
Nope.
All right.
5 minutes. 5-minute board
Okay,
meeting.
I'm gonna
Be a
hold you to
financial,
it.
yep, financial
You're a good
report,
timer, right?
secretary report, and that's it. Yes, Carlos.
In the same vein, I heard many comments on how to, when you have a chaplain or the person doing the benediction asking for short
Yes.
addresses, I think.
Well, I'm going to take that as, Bob, I want to be on the Change of Watch Committee for the program. Thank you, Carlos.
Okay.
Okay, Carlos.
Appreciate that. Good.
We have to make it short.
Absolutely. You 100% agree.
What's the date we're talking about for the change of watch?
December 2nd. First Sunday in December.
To be sure to keep the change of watch board meeting short, if the minutes and the financial report are sent out in advance.
Absolutely.
You can do it under, I would suggest you do it under a consent agenda so that you don't have to read it, you don't have to go through it, and be done with it at the meeting.
Pardon?
No, we don't, because we're not having one. We don't have to have one. But if we just have one for 5 minutes, it'll be fine. Just be real quick. If you don't want to have one, or
It's not very
let me give the choice to the
When you
board.
have a meeting,
Do you want to
you just
forego
have
the
to-
December meeting as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
I need a motion for that.
So moved to forego.
the November and December meetings.
Second.
And so the last meeting of the year will be October 27th.
Yes.
Fine with me. That's even better. Thank you very much.
Well,
I love that, okay.
Don't we have to vote it?
We already did.
No, we're gonna vote right
we're gonna vote
now.
now.
Do a full vote for all the meetings.
No, for the, okay. I ask the board now, I need a motion to approve the following meeting schedule
That's it.
in September and October, for the rest, from September to December 2018. Thursday, 20th September at Pompano Beach. Saturday, 27 October at the Coast Guard Station at 9 o'clock in the morning. I need a motion.
And no meetings in November or
No
December.
meeting November 7th.
So moved.
So moved by Richard Lees,
Second.
seconded by Carlos. Any discussion amongst the board? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those in favor signify by saying no. Motion carries. Okay, terrific. That's good. All right, last item for board approval is division dues. At the last meeting, we had a presentation by Gene Kane on the financial sustainability of the division. The record, after listening to the presentation, the board made the following motion that the dues be raised to $10 per person, okay, and that all flotilla commanders will go back to their flotillas, get member input, and come back for a vote tonight. Okay, so that's what we have right now. And again, Brett and I have been to every single flotilla meeting. We've discussed this, so I'll entertain a motion for the due structure for 2019. At $10
We
a
have a
person.
discussion right now?
Well, first I have the motion.
I'll move for the motion to dues will now, starting in 2019, be $10 per member.
Okay, thank you. A second?
Second.
Second by Carlos. Now open for board discussion. Joe?
Did you say $10 per member?
Yes.
Going up $10 per
No,
member?
no.
No,
Instead of
total
five.
of $10.
Total.
$5 a member to 10, so raise of $5. Division doesn't raise dues, and Gene had that presentation last month about basically in 2014, the division had $9,000, now we had $3,500 going into this year, and the division's been spending more money, and I have more money every year than it took in, and this year we would come out with $3,200, period. That's all we have to operate.
If you want a clarification, the motion is that the new due structure will be $10 per member per year,
Correct.
effective 2019.
Right.
For
And
the
we,
district dues.
no, division.
No, for
Division dues, I'm sorry, you're right.
Division.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It goes up $5.
That was a fast one. That was a fast one.
Joe,
I know everyone's
it goes up
discussed it.
$5 more.
So what
Five
would be the
to
total of
yeah,
the,
I know.
what would be the total of the dues?
10.
$10.
From $5 to $10, a $5
Just for
increase.
division.
Why are we doing this again?
So the division's sustainable going forward because we're spending more money than we take in. And that's what Gene's presentation was last month.
Where are we spending money?
Well, with the approved budget that the division approved.
There was a presentation given to in the last division meeting as well as the
watched it.
okay.
I just,
I have the budget.
because typically we don't spend money.
Well, some things that I've noticed, okay, and I'm trying to be, now division is paying for the little dinner at the station. You used to come and give
No,
contributions.
No, that was just, we did that for 2 years, that was it.
No, we didn't do it this year. Here it is. Here's the budget that was approved by the board. Balance forward, $38.45. Estimated dues from flotillas, $13,000. Out of that, so this is like the North Jersey operation. We have to kick up stats. We got to kick up $24. The division collects $38 per person. We give up to district, okay?
And
30.
national.
No, 30. We give you guys $35. I mean, I'm sorry, $33.
Right.
Out of that, they keep $9 and they kick up $24 to national. That's the way it goes, and that was raised 2 years ago. Meeting expenses, we had $500. Awards, $500. The boat show, the charges for the table and electric, $600. Fellowship, $500. $500 for rewards, which is a challenge coin, which the board already approved, the challenge coin. That's our total expenses, $13,519. Net loss for the year is $485. Estimated balance carrying forward will be $3360. And this was based on, this is the budget that the board passed in January. And that's the only thing we're spending money on is right there. But as Gene said, in 2013, we had an opening balance of $9,000. 2014, $7,000. 2015, $6,000. 2016, $5,200. 2017, $4,600. And now in 2018, $3,845. Which if you look at that, that's a loss of about almost 4,000, from 9,000 to 3,000. You know, so that's for over $5,000. So that's makes it.
I know that. Just one question. Did Gene explain why there was such a loss each year?
We didn't. He didn't do a forensic analysis, you know, on what was spent. This is what the board has spent, and basically where are we going? And the recommendation was that the other divisions in the district, Dade County charges $10, Palm Beach $9.50, Division 2 in Georgia $7, Sarasota $9, Tarpon Springs $6, South Carolina $7. So we're right there between, you know, we're in sync with South Florida, with, you know, $9, $9.50, and $10. Gene originally recommended $9, and then the motion was amended and adopted by the board to be $10. And we're only talking $5 increase, and the dues have not been raised, and no one can remember. At least 10 years, Gene was saying. So, with that motion on the table, any more discussion on the motion?
I'll just, we did take it back to Flotilla 3-6, took a vote on it, and presented all the information that Gene had provided, and the motion passed at the flotilla to increase the dues. So 3-6 was supported.
We did the same, and we decided to absorb the $5, so there is no increase for our members.
Okay, very good, thank you, that's terrific.
We are not absorbing it, we're passing it
Passing
on.
it. That's up to each flotilla.
We absorbed one last year, a couple of years ago.
Just so everyone knows, in our discussion at 3.8 was that we actually had a increase in our flotilla dues 3 years ago, or was it 4 years ago? I can't remember how long it's been. And the discussion did come up that we would probably be seeing a division increase in the upcoming years. So it had, for the people that have been around for 3 or 4 years, we kind of knew that this was going to be coming. So it's not really a big surprise.
Very good. And also, in efforts to be as part of the division goals, which we all adopted, and my efforts to be transparent, National never asked us if it was okay. No one did that. I didn't have to go just to the board, and the board could have voted. But I wanted to go a step further for the record, so every member, via email, via presentations, and via personal visits by the division bridge to each flotilla, every member would have the opportunity to comment and contribute and talk about it. And I want that on the record too. Sir?
And Richard, another reason why it's been decreasing is our population, or our member base has been decreasing.
Well, that I know, and,
Right.
and actually one of the things I was going to bring up, one of the things that has taken place in the past regarding the change of watch, up until I guess this year, there's been a lot of out-of-pocket money to cover Gold Side and additional district people attending, and sometimes it was to the tune of $600 out of division funds to cover that. Going forward, we won't have that. But if we want to have sustainability, and we basically need to look at the budget and understand that in order to sustain that, we need an increase to maintain it. For 3-4, and I'll be very honest, I did not discuss it with 3-4, right? However, 3-4 had a dues increase a few years ago, and we have built up somewhat of a surplus. So I'm figuring we will take baby steps. When I say that, I will present it to my flotilla, you know, maybe a couple dollars this year, a couple dollars the next year, and so on, and just take baby steps till we get to that point and absorb what is left.
Any more discussion amongst the board? Hearing none, we'll vote on the motion. All those in favor of establishing the due structure at $10 per member, raising it $5, effective 2019, but the dues are collected in, starting in June. Okay, signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, still 3-2 opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much, and with that, we're going to take a break and get some fellowship. Okay, take a break, enjoy the refreshments, and we'll come back for the staff reports. Yeah, and that's an order. Want to hear laughter, and that's an order.
You can hear me?
I can do more than it's only my position. I live 7 miles from there, so I go there almost every week. And I sit down with the director, I sit down with Vicki, and while I'm there, I have.
I'm being held captive. Help me.
We may not
Send money now.
but at least you'll have some.
I'll help you, I'll help you.
So,
What Angela did is she put them all to,
Vicki,
Where were you Saturday? Drop it too?
I was at a
I'm a bulldog. No, I'm not.
all right, I'll send it to you. Thank you very much for your efforts.
All right, everybody in the other room, let's resume the meeting. Bob, want to get everybody in there for me? Want to round them up?
Quit drinking and come back in.
Oh, no, bring some from here.
That would be my drug.
Okay. So Andrea's having free drinks for everybody.
Right.
There you go. So when she comes in, we're
But it's a cash bar.
And it's down by our house.
Well, Bob said he was paying for everybody.
Yeah, but it's covered with the juice.
there you go. I like that, Lisa.
Division is absorbing it.
Would you say division or Bob is absorbing?
Bob is absorbing. He makes the big bucks.
Hip hip hooray.
Yeah, I read the big bucks. Can I get a raise?
Yes. Oh, actually, Admiral Bushman gave me a 300% raise when I was meeting with him.
Really?
Yes.
300% from nothing, those things.
Right,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That's quite a
Couldn't
raise.
Well,
have given you more?
I hope John Narducci's watching. John, where are the bonus checks? Come on. Okay. Believe it or not, Brett just called in and he's attending, for his report, he is attending Auxlams.
Yay.
For Brett and Reno, Nevada. Big hand to Brett. Brett, stay out of the casinos. Stay out of the casinos, Brett.
It's a good course.
Okay, because I have no more money.
Auxlams, you have homework.
Yes. So hopefully Brett is doing his homework. He also, two notes from Brett. One is that if anybody can lend the station a video camera for their recording purposes, for recording purposes for their training, please let Brett know, and the video cameras will come back in good condition. The more cameras they have, the better off they are.
Do they have to be new, or I have one, but
That's fine.
It's an older one.
That's fine.
So how long do they need it?
I believe they'll need it for about 4 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 to 4 weeks, okay? And the second thing is on the reports, is that the March reports, we reflect February's data, so everybody knows when they submit reports. Okay, everything is, when reported, we all know it's about a month behind on the lab. Okay, so the first one is Tony Anastasio with his comms report, and he emailed it to me today. I gotta switch glasses for this one. Okay, the District 7 and CGR HFNet is scheduled for Tuesday, March 20th. Starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. And this is an Army-wide lower HF exercise on 22 to 24 March. And Division DSC Call Group application submission is pending final MMSI numbers. What Tony did is when Andrea asked for all the MMSI numbers from all the facilities, Tony's working on a call list, a group call list, so we can enter in a group. So if we're on patrol or we have something like the boat parade or whatever, we have a lot of facilities out there, everybody will be on channel 70 and we can talk on a DSC channel, which is a great idea. Thank you, Tony. Okay, computer services, Carlos Arenas.
Well, as I said before, I put together a page for the advanced coastal navigation that also is obviously overlapping with member training. But I'm gathering the resources for the equipment for navigation, so that I'm also working on the page for Eventbrite, so people can enroll in the course. The course is going to run from April 4th to July 15th.
And where are you thinking of having it?
At the Imperial Point.
Imperial Point Hospital.
Imperial Point Hospital.
Who should they contact for more information?
Me.
Contact Carlos Arenas for more information.
But next week, we are going to have an email going to the division at large offering the course.
Okay. Next week there'll be a all members email coming out from Carlos explaining more details about the course. I'm just saying it for the people at home.
And 3-6 have graciously donated 1210 TR training charts.
Oh, terrific.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Still 3-6.
Now that I donated, I have to double check that we have them, but I'm pretty sure we do. Okay.
Now, we were, in here in Division 3, we're real laid back. So, Carolina's report, she said, I'll be online only for 30 minutes because she's in Morocco and there it's 11 o'clock. 1, 2, 3. Oh, tough life, Carolina.
Life is all.
99. Please send my regards to everybody and text Cindy the same in case she's also on a cruise. And I don't receive this one. If I don't receive this one, good night. Well, good night, Carolina. Sleep tight. Don't forget the 3-star diversity award applications are now out. They're due by June 30th. Back to Carolina. Every flotilla commander has gotten an email from me about this. Please make sure we want to be all 5 flotillas have applied or apply for this prestigious award. Thank you very much. Okay.
District won the national award last year for the most units achieving this award.
All right.
So let's keep up the good work and get it again.
Right.
Okay, for Barbara Dombrowski's report, you have it. Bob?
Yes, sir. For food services, we had a best class down at Interstation Miami about three weeks ago. I think there's 10 total people that were in the class. Out of that 10, there were 5 people, or 6 people from Division 3. We've coordinated with CS1 Watkins and CS2 Sandusky at Station 4 Lauderdale. In the next 4 weeks, we'll have 3-day blocks where these people will be going in, myself included, doing all the PQS for food services. So Station 4 Lauderdale will have 6 new people working in the galley in about 30 days from now. There you go.
Terrific, and that was one of the items identified in the gap analysis as well. And I know the station is looking forward to getting those people on board and in the galley.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Richard Lee's left his report. Materials, Herman Feldman. Okay.
Herman sent me a text that he is out ill.
Oh.
He apologizes, but everything is as it was.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. I was going to call on people who are here or submit reports. Member training, John Narducci. Hey, John. Basically, we had 3 member training patrols for coxswain requals and new member crew. We held a crew class review at the station prior to getting underway. John met with Chief Graybridge to align the training efforts between the station and the auxiliaries, so we're basically training on the same thing. To that end, the Stacy Lee 2 towed the 45.
All right.
And when that was part of John's check ride, and when the catenary hit, I thought I was crossing the bar. That bow went straight up in the air, but she did it. I was real proud of that and hope Yamaha never hears about it. So. There'll be changes to the night quals as well that he's working on with Mark Brody. Basically, there'll be the coxswain, the night quals will be involving all 3 inlets in the AOR. Along with the coxswain down training that will be implemented soon, which is basically the coxswains working together on the active duty side and the auxiliary side. And the AUX Nav class is being offered every night. Carlos just reported on. And Inter-Rail Alliance said, people, please contact Carlos Arenas. And John, at the last meeting, presented the training plan for the division, and now it's being implemented, and I think it's a tremendous effort on John's behalf. Thank you very much, and thank you.
Gary Joseph.
And Gary Joseph, who's also teaching it, and everybody else involved in any type of member training. Don't forget, member training can be going to somebody's house, you're doing it on the telephone, and training them in everything from operations to vessel exams, program visitors, AUX ops. Member training is not solely operational. That's only one part of it. Okay?
Also, just reading a manual is member training.
Correct.
Preparing.
That's right.
May I add something there?
Sure.
I just heard back from Lieutenant Alexander. I asked him about the 2 surface operations policies. It says the latest version, which is the version signed by Captain Green. So, whichever one that is.
Let me go through my papers here, the operations report. Check it out. I had to pull up the other stuff. So. Here it is. This is from Mark Brody, who's also on vacation on the Princess Regal, so we're having a good time, Mark. Basically, this month, Division had 14 surface patrols, 13 clear channel patrols, 2 days high-value asset training with the Coast Guard and Broward Sheriff's Office, 2 days of towing training with the boats. We also had one QE mission for coxswain research with the 45 at the station. 31 March and April 7th, we have the mandatory 2018 Ops Seminar at the station and QE to follow. This will include the Sector Miami SOP and the and the 2018 Operations PowerPoint. Again, for qualification, requalification, very important to attend. And I just did a quick review of AUX data, and as of March 16th, and not all March patrols were entered into AUX data as of that date. There were over 260 hours of operations just from January to March 16th. All right. That's very good. Okay. Thank you, Mark. And I don't know if he's watching. I doubt it. Anyways.
He's by the pool with a drink right now.
I'm sorry?
Say he's by the pool with a drink right now.
Yeah. Who knows? Okay. SOPA, David Scott.
Sir. Thank you, Commander. Barbara. Okay, so the division has had an outstanding start this year in public affairs. So last month, starting with the Lighthouse Keepers Day Parade in Pompano Beach, that was a great event. We then went to the Boy Scout Camporee in Marco Park, which was an incredible event by all accounts. I think you may have seen some of the pictures from that Commodore.
Yes, I did.
Outstanding event. Coast Guard was real happy to us being out there for that. Earlier this month, we had the Dania Nautical Flea Market, which was a 4-day event. That got us a lot of potential recruitment and vessel exams. I had one guy ask if I would come out to his house and do a vessel exam for him and a couple of neighbors. He said, sure. So he calls me up. I went out there last Saturday morning. By the time I left, after 6 hours, I'd done 12 BEs just in one neighborhood.
Wow.
Great job. All because the guy was at the Dania Nautical Flea Market and he saw our table.
That's terrific.
Good.
Plus several recruitment leads too. I think I sent out 6 or 7 emails to our human resources staff officer, who then reached out to people who expressed interest in joining. So these are really tremendous events for recruitment in addition to other auxiliary programs. We had the St. Patrick's Day parade on March 10th, another great event. And coming up, we have the Florida Safety Fest, and my mentor Lisette here told me that there may be an Earth Day event as well. For these future events, as always, I'll be sending out a division-wide email with follow-up emails soliciting volunteers. So I hope you all will participate in these events. Uniforms, I always make this feel, it's a tough topic, but it's important, especially I think for the flotilla commanders, to make sure that our members are wearing their uniforms properly. Because we are out in some of these events and we get a lot of publicity. Photographs, if you've got a photograph with 10 people and one person's not wearing his uniform properly, or it's an old faded ODU, then I can't use that photograph in anything. It's a complete waste of photograph. So what does that mean? It means we got to do the difficult thing that nobody wants to do, and that is we got to go up to people who aren't wearing their uniforms properly, take them aside, and very nicely and gently say, look, can I help you with the uniform? Here's what you need to do. You need some money. Maybe you can't afford a new ODU blouse. Maybe you can help them one way or the other. But it's got to get done. And I'll tell you, I made this feel at our last flotilla meeting, the one before last, excuse me. Didn't call anybody out in particular, but there's one person who's a member of our flotilla who's a very well-respected person. He's been around for a long, long time, puts in a lot of time, but his ODUs look like they were 20 years old. He got the message. He went out and he bought himself a brand new set, and he came in looking sharp. So it's important. We gotta talk to people. So thank you, Commander.
Thank you. Human Resources, Mario.
Well, you heard my other report on the fellowship event. The only other thing I will mention is e-responders. You know, we get those from the national site. They flow down. People have gone on to the national site and said, we want to join the auxiliary. And I think the reason I'm bringing it up this month is it's sort of the classic. We had 3 this month. One of them, I've tried to contact them 4 or 5 times and no contact. And I guess they were having a good time and they decided, I'll join the Coast Guard Auxiliary and send this in. And we've seen that before, so they're not, I think it's about a third that we get in there. The other 2 look like they're good and we pass those along. So that is a recurring theme. Even though we get a fairly large number through e-responder, they're not going to turn into real people. And to report.
Thank you very much for all your work, Mario. Public Education, Glenn Wiltshire.
Thanks,
Mr.
Bob.
Wiltshire.
We're moving ahead with classes as always. This month we got the information for the new state test questions, as well as 40 slides that really don't fit into the ABS presentation. So Commodore, I don't know what they expect us to do, because it looks pretty tacky to have ABS class slides and then inserting these dark blue things here, there, and everywhere. So I asked the ABSO, she was going on vacation, and said when I get back she'll follow up on it.
Yeah, a lot of units save all, instead of inserting them where you may be talking about that subject area as you go along. A lot of units or classes just put them at the end, so at least they're all together, and the switch that you're talking about is just one time only.
Yeah, I think we looked at them and we cover all of that stuff as we go through the class.
Yes.
So
That is mostly covered in chapter 5.
Then if they're all covered other ways.
Okay, good. I'm glad I just heard that.
And we have it on video.
I'm a practical person. You know, I also do my best, I will say, to simplify things. We don't need to be making things more difficult. We need to make things easier and more simple for us and for our members.
The thing is that in the seminar, in the webinar that we attended, they said that FWC can step into any of our courses, and if we don't have the slides as they deliver it to us, they can shut us down. That is the way they put it.
So you can put them at the end and go through them. It's a review before the test or whatever. It just ends up being a review.
We're getting in there, so it's good. The Ready, Set, Wear It.
Yes.
Right now we've got the the Johnny Lloyd, whatever their new name is now, we're registered there on behalf of the division. 3-2 is registered for Holland Park in Hollywood, or wherever that is.
Good.
And then the Pompano Power Squadron actually is registered for the Pompano.
Okay, so Flotilla 3-4 and 3-6. And if you guys want, please, if you want to get involved in Ready, Set, Wear It, please contact Glenn. So you can do it maybe at your boat ramp in.
Do it at my boat ramp, yeah, that's
okay,
fine.
we'll talk to Glenn.
Yeah, so you can just go, you go online and register. The other thing they're doing this year is they're doing it 4 times. So instead of doing it at the start of National Safe Boating Week only, they're also doing it on June 9th, July 7th, and August 11th. So I think people will get tired of it after a while, but that's what they're doing this year. So I think that's all in my report.
Thank you very much, Glenn. And publications, who's at Rutledge? And part-time SR.
Well, like I said, the division publication went out, and then the new full one will go out in the beginning of May, and all the other flotillas have been sending out their monthly publications.
Okay, terrific.
We've all gotten that in the email.
That's it?
That's it for me.
Very good, thank you. George isn't here, so that about does it for our staff report portion of it. And old business is our next meeting is 9 o'clock, 0900 at Saturday, 21 April at the Coast Guard Station. And basically it'll be the business meeting in the morning, and I'll wrap up with the business meeting, and then right after that will be the Sector Miami Ops Seminar. And then lunch, and then after that, we're done. So we're not going to break and come back. We're going to start everything early for the seminar. I don't know if I'll talk to Mark. I don't know if we'll have boats out on patrol that day. It'll be nice if people can get on patrol as well. So, and you have any closing comments, Commodore?
I think you all are wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
No, you're doing a lot of good things.
Good people.
I do appreciate what you're doing. I looked at hours before I came tonight, and
That's our report card, huh?
And it looked very good. You know, I also wrote down what some people have contributed, and a lot of those people are here tonight. I was looking for people who have contributed well over 100 hours. Richard Flowers has 182 hours. Bill Bartley has 286 hours. Andrea Rutherford has 135, and I'm sure that's going to skyrocket now that she has this new position. Brett Rabosky has 273 hours. Robert Etheridge has 225 hours. Lynn Wilshire has 151 hours. And the winner, I guess you would call him the winner, is Bob Sherman with 369 hours. So, thank you. And it is dispersed. You know, it's not all in operations or all in vessel exams. You have missions, successful missions going in every area. So I do thank you very much.
Can I just say one thing before we finish about HR? And I just want to pass along some stuff that's been happening in 3.8 to Mario specifically. But Robert, many months ago in the meeting, he had mentioned during VEs to talk to the boat, you know, the facility owners about the auxiliary, and I'm getting emails left and right, not only from PA events, but from vessel exams, from our HR copying me on things, and I'm talking like many times a week. I'm getting like anywhere from 10 to a dozen requests for information. So,
wow.
And that's from all the PA events, and I did a vessel exam through the email, or someone signed up online for a vessel exam. So I went to, you know, a couple miles down the road. I did one this week. You have a huge 30-foot Mako, and you know, younger guy. He was really into, you know, making sure his boat was safe. And I said, hey, if you're interested, would you like to join? And he's like, yeah. So immediately I get his information, send it to Irv, and he's sending him it's a standard template email, like all information of what he needs to know and what to do. And so people get really hyped up about being part of the auxiliary when you go and approach them either in a PA event or a VSC. And it's been a really good response, a huge response. I expect our flotilla to be expanding the walls because of all the people we're going to have. So.
That's good news.
Does it make Tom Thayer happy?
So now you just need to make sure they all have mentors and they're all getting some training in what they want to do.
And that's part of Irv's, commitment in HR is making sure that our mentoring program continues with our existing membership. So.
No, I had sent her those standard templates.
Oh, you did? Okay, great.
That's where you got those.
Awesome. Those are working great.
Yeah, that's the process. And we've got 4 new members already. Applications are in for
Terrific.
6.
Would you mind sending me your template?
Not at all.
Thank you.
We've got a procedure and set of templates.
Great. Because other units need help along those lines. I put together a targeted recruiting and integration class, but lots of people don't know how to get started with things. So these little, what I refer to as job aids, are very helpful.
Sure, happy to send it to you. We've distributed everybody, all the HR people in the Division 3 have it.
Just like that passport you get distributed recently.
And let's never forget mandated training.
Oh,
District Captain, you have anything to say?
Nothing else. Thank you very much. Great job.
Oh, very good. Okay, with that, being there no further business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the board.
I have a sad note. Our member, Liz Clark, she's in hospice, and apparently she's in the last stretch. So I'm already, the family asked me to contact the both side to arrange for a burial at sea, and we're moving with that. But regretfully, we're expecting any moment now that she will pass away.
Please express our sincere condolences and sympathies
Absolutely.
to her family. And please let us know, we're through the all members, let us know if and when the funeral arrangements are for Ms. Clark. That's very sad news to everybody.
Yeah.
That's very sad news. Thank you for telling us. Okay. Any other business before the division? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
Made by Bruce Free from 3-2, seconded. Voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Oh, really? No one.
Thank you very much. See you in April.